Hi guys, welcome to CMC, the Churchill Musicians Club, um, the um, the original music club in Churchill. If you want to become a member, you can go to this link bit.ly/CMC signup, uh, and use your MCPS account and to join us. Today we will be going over Unit 5 of AP Music Theory, which covers chord progressions and predominant functions. Okay, so we're gonna start with the subdominant and supertonic triads. So the subdominant triad, or the four chord, can prolong the tonic via neighbor motion. Um, so prolongation means to make a chord span a longer period of time without it like actually physically sounding, if that makes any sense. And it can also serve as a predominant, or a chord that goes before the dominant. So as an example too, the two chord can substitute for the four because they share common tones. And it's usually in first inversion to prevent voice leading errors. And in minor, this triad is diminished. So, yeah.
Now we're going to be talking about first inversion triads. So they're also known as six chords, which are weaker than root position triads. And then when part writing with six chords, you can double any note except for the leading tone or the lowered scale degree six in minor. So they can be used in a neighbor progression to improve the contour of the bass line. It looks really nice. So it's not only visually appealing, it's also musically appealing too. So make sure to do that. So we also have six chords, which can be used to prolong chords, as shown in example 3 and 4. And then we also...
And here's example 4.
And then we also have the 4/6 chord, which is used in the Phrygian half cadence. Ooh, that's my favorite half cadence.
Yeah. Okay.
So that can be shown in example 5 and 6.
Go back. So example 5 would be poor voice leading because scale degree 6 is doubled, which means you have parallel octaves. And example 6 shows correct voice leading, and it sounds like this.
All right, now we're going to quickly talk about second inversion triads. They're also known as 6/4 chords, and they're also the least stable. They're usually dissonant. They're usually dissonant as it has an interval of a fourth, and it must be carefully prepared and resolved. And here's an example.
So a passing 6/4 connects a root position triad with first inversion or vice versa, and it can be used to prolong chords, and that's usually the tonic. So the example on the slide sounds like this. Wait. And the neighbor or the pedal 6/4 is when the bass is static and it's often sustained. So in the example, you can see that the bass, the C is being like held throughout. So it sounds like this. You can hear like the C kind of acts like a drone in this case. And then you have the cadential 6/4, and it prepares a cadence, usually a half cadence or an authentic cadence. And you'll see it's notated kind of weirdly. It's notated as a 5/6/4 and going to 5/3, and that's because it's an embellishment of the 5 chord, so that's why it's notated that way. And so the melodic line is usually scale degree 3 to 2 to 1. And so the example on the slide sounds like this.
Okay, so we also have like the leading tone triad, which could also be a 7 diminished 6. So 7 diminished 6 is written in first inversion and contains a tritone. It can be substituted for the dominant as they all share common tones. And it's the most common use is in like the passing progression. So we have a 7 diminished 6, which can be used in a leading tone imperfect authentic cadence. So that is a 7/6 to a 1, and this can be shown in example 2 and 3. So for example 2, the tonic triad is incomplete to improve voice leading. And then we also have example 3, which is the tritone is not resolved in order to have a complete tonic. So that is how we can use the 7 diminished 6 chord.
The mediant triad, Roman numeral 3, is based on the third scale degree, and it can be a substitute for 1/6, as they share common tones and is commonly used in the progression 1, 3, 4, 5 in examples 1 and 2.
And this is example 2.
Note the leading tone does not need to be resolved as it has less tension. Also in minor, the 7th scale degree is not raised in the third chord.
3 chord.
3 chord, yeah.
The submediant triad is based on the 6th scale degree and can substitute for tonic or subdominants, and is often used in descending third progressions, as in example 1. So and it's also used in deceptive cadences in examples 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so examples 2 and 3 demonstrate poor voice leading. Example 2 contains parallel fifths, while example 3 contains an unresolved leading tone, and you'll want to avoid that. So example 2, you can hear in the parallel fifths in the bass and tenor, and in example 3, you can hear the leading tone going down instead of going up to the tonic where it's supposed to go. And example 4 and example 5 are correct examples, and they sound like this. And example 5 is just example 4 in minor. So, and the mediant can also be adjacent to the submediant in chord progressions, as in example 6, which sounds like this.
Usually in minor, and then it's based on the lowered 7th scale degree, and then it tends to interact with the 3 as they are a fifth apart, and then it can be used to modulate or change keys to the relative major.
All right, and here is a map of the other diatonic sevenths. So as you can see, 1, 4, and 5 are capitalized, and 2, 3, 6, and 7 are lowercase, usually, and that's for major. And then for minor, it's a little bit different. They can also vary based on the quality or type of minor, like natural, harmonic, and melodic. So feel free to take a screenshot if you need it, if you want it.
So the leading tone 7th, or which is half diminished in major and fully diminished in minor, can substitute for 5/7, as in this example. In the third inversion, it can also go to the dominant. And the fully diminished 7th in minor, because all the intervals are even, can also be used to modulate to other keys. The supertonic 7th, which is a minor 7th in major, and a half diminished 7th in minor, usually functions as a predominant, and it can substitute for the 2 or the 4 chords. So,
Thanks everyone for coming to the Unit 5 AP Music Theory workshop, and congratulations, you guys have been such a great audience. And then hopefully you really learned a lot, because AP Music Theory is a super, super difficult course. So congratulations for making it like halfway through this course. And then also be sure to tune in next month, where we will be covering part 3 of harmony and voice layering. So we will be discussing embellishments, motives, and melodic devices. So there are a lot of interesting things that we will be discussing in the next couple of months. So thank you everyone for being such a great audience, and hopefully you guys have a fabulous weekend.